Okay, let's watch.
All right.
We're gonna watch.
Let's introduce. We're watching doing a reaction video for the Star Wars Holiday Special. We have a version here with commercials.
1978 commercials.
I'm Professor Haystacks. This is my sister here. We've got our spouses off camera here. They may or may not chime in at some point. Ryan's usually the one who says stupid things.
Hey.
I'll be right back. All right. I'm hoping I can edit it so I can put it playing like in the corner. Or we're doing this like the professional ones.
Picture in picture.
Well, I figured out how to do that the other day finally. So, all right. Let's see. Okay, come on, play.
I've seen the beginning before, but I fell asleep. By the way, this was a contractual obligation, and I think it really shows in Harrison Ford's performance.
Obvious footage from episode 4.
We should really listen with headphones.
Why?
Because then you can put the sound in higher quality.
Oh, you mean headsets? I don't have any.
I have two at home. I should.
This microphone is relatively sensitive. That's why I'm using it.
This is what the movie was missing. Is some cheesy.
Yeah.
Look at his wig. Look at his wig.
That's a very obvious wig.
I have a theory. Look how much he didn't want to do that. Do you see how angry he is?
Yeah. She was obviously stoned.
I mean, she spent most of the 70s and 80s stoned. I have a theory. The first Luke Skywalker toy had yellow hair, and this was to promote the toys, partially. I think we're going to see commercials for the toys. And I have a theory that they wanted to make him look more like the toys, so they gave him a yellow wig. Either that, or they were just being cheap, and they didn't give him a good one. Because I think he was filming another movie. Chewbacca's family.
They're terrifying.
His wife what?
I don't know. Missed it.
Itchy.
That's horrifying. Lumpy.
Lumpy's teeth.
Lumpy in the original expanded universe, Lumpy becomes a Jedi Knight.
Hold on, B. Arthur. Art Carney, who's multiple roles if I'm not mistaken. Diane Carroll, who's the porn lady. Freaking Jefferson Starship, which you're probably gonna have to cut because they, if I'm not mistaken, they play the entire song.
Yeah, I can mute the audio at that point. In fact, they might mute the audio on this version for that.
They might have to because it's just a straight up. Look at these like animations.
This looks similar to the Ewok animated series.
Do you know that?
Oh,
I guess it wasn't an anime. Those live action movies were filmed in his backyard, Lucas's backyard.
Really?
Okay,
Ewok caravan.
He's playing with this ship. Oh, well, that's the grandpa. Now we have the choice. They made an artistic choice to go with no subtitles.
Which
is an odd choice. Apparently, George Lucas did not like it.
He has said he wants to destroy every copy of this.
Supposedly.
And then, of course, White and Nerdy has Weird Al buying a bootleg of it.
Harrison Ford refuses to acknowledge its existence. So, I've heard people ask him about it. You know, Harrison Ford's a big jerk to interviewers.
Really?
Yeah. I saw him be a real jerk to Jimmy Fallon once, who was so excited to meet him, and it was pitiful.
Jimmy Fallon's excited to meet everybody. It's like his thing. I did see the part of that where Harrison Ford was like, I hear they're making another Star Wars movie.
Mark Hamill did that same thing on Twitter the other day. It's like, hey, Mark, what's going to be the episode of the title of episode 9, and he's like, right now it's called episode 9.
That doesn't bode well. They don't have a title yet.
I'm sure they have a title, it's not public.
Hmm.
And he's sworn to secrecy.
Mark Hamill has very politely indicated he did not care for episode 8.
Well, he was mad. First of all, he said he was mad that Luke Skywalker never had a girlfriend or a wife.
Yeah,
He felt like
which he did in the expanded universe.
he felt like Luke was cool enough to have a girlfriend. He didn't like that Luke had kind of run away. He didn't like that they made him work out that much just to put him in like 15 layers of cloaks.
Yeah.
And I think he was just mad they killed off Luke.
And had him spent an inordinate amount of time milking weird creatures.
They were like, oh, brew milk. God, nothing's happened. It's just like Lumpy bickering with his mom.
Didn't the ratings start out high and like precipitously drop as time went on?
Yes, though I think they were high for the first half hour because I think people stuck it out.
Yeah, because here I'm like, surely they can't keep growling forever.
Look at this like painting. Like they couldn't afford like sets, so why did they?
In fairness, it's a nice painting.
And I guess that was more of a thing at the time.
They have painted backdrops in Doctor Who all the time, but they were actually well painted, though.
See, so now he's risking his life. I mean, I know they're like tree people, but I feel like Lumpy, like survival of the fittest, Lumpy's not going to make it.
Yeah.
I don't think Lumpy became a Jedi. I think Lumpy just did something stupid and died.
I think it was Lumpy. There was a Wookiee Jedi that was some relative of Chewbacca's. I can't remember if it was Lumpy or if it was like Chewbacca's nephew or something. But these characters do show up in the expanded universe.
How they kept making movies for like Solo and whatever, and they canceled all of them.
Yeah.
I want like a fan to make like Binks a Star Wars story.
Yeah, I was hoping for Snoke to be Binks, but
Jar Jar's just a racial stereotype. He can't be anything else, Brian. I mean, Stan.
Well, there's a theory. The serious version of the Jar Jar theory says that the original conception was to have Jar Jar fill the role of Count Dooku in Episode 3.
To have him turn?
Yeah.
But they wrote him down, way down.
Right, because the reception was so poor, because he was a Jamaican stereotype.
What is that? It's a picture of Chewbacca, I think.
Oh, okay.
But this 1970s TV screen, it's too hard to see.
Yeah, it's all blown up. That actually hurts it. That's all the resolution we have. Making it bigger doesn't make the picture.
But I need lasers shooting in my eyeballs giving me this picture.
Ugh.
Because we're like, not... Okay, so like, this was supposed to be a lot shorter, but they kept selling ad time, so they kept having to make it longer, and you just end up with this.
They could do what they do for... They've stopped doing this, but there used to be channels where they would play 5 minutes of the movie followed by 3 minutes of ads.
Kids shows used to do that in the 90s a lot, but I think modern audiences don't accept it.
Well, they TiVo through that.
Look, I feel like this family is just having all kinds of problems.
I can't tell.
I love, like, can you imagine being a child? You love Star Wars. You're so excited. You sit down and watch it. Oh, okay, so like...
okay, here's the hollow recording segment.
This is actually really interesting. This is Cirque du Soleil before they were a thing.
Really?
Yes, this is a Cirque du Soleil troupe, and they're about to do an entire number.
It would have made more sense had they set this up.
Like, nothing like some like French-Canadian acrobats.
I'm really hoping this mic is still picking up.
I hope so. It doesn't give us any feedback.
Not easily. I could have rigged it up to show a little bar, but... Why did... I don't know. What? Now this is, of course, done with green screen image
Probably
compositing.
blue screen.
Oh, right, because they're wearing green. Yeah.
Also, blue screen, somebody explained it to me recently. It had to do with how the film was made.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why it was blue and not as green.
The reason for using green is because nothing except these Cirque du Soleil outfits is that shade of neon green.
Yeah.
But, yeah, something about the film, like, didn't capture deep blues.
Something like that,
So you had to use that as your...
There used to be a lot of rules about not having certain colors and things like that, which don't really exist anymore.
Lumpy's either enjoying it or constipated. I can't tell.
Well, his face doesn't articulate that much.
Is he a puppet or is there a guy in a suit?
I think there is a little person in a suit.
Okay.
If I had to guess, just based, I don't think it's a puppet. It might be one of those,
I feel like this would be better without the Wookiee in the background.
But Lumpy's watching it on a tape.
Yeah.
I guess it's weird because, I guess this was people recorded this on Betamax or whatever, but home recording wasn't really a thing. So I guess the idea of watching things at home was very novel.
Yeah.
But now it is not.
And there was a whole lawsuit because they said it would destroy the television industry if people could time shift programs.
Which is
and
interesting.
Mr. Rogers went up to Capitol Hill and told him he would like it if parents could record it and watch it with their children later.
He dealt with the government a lot, actually.
Yeah, he also got funding from PBS.
He was very well respected, yeah.
Yeah, nobody hates Mr. Rogers.
I bet somebody does.
I'm sure someone does.
Okay, I think she wants him to do something in the kitchen.
I assume.
I don't know, but yeah, that was Cirque du Soleil doing not as cool as modern Cirque du Soleil, which is pretty cool.
I mean, it was some nice juggling.
But then they just did a really mediocre gymnastics bar routine in the middle. I guess he's washing dishes.
It's I don't like
but
washing
I
dishes.
guess this was novel. Home computers didn't exist, so it's a computer in the home.
Yep. And that's now I believe that is Lucas's.
Oh wait, I think this is about to be Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
This was about the time I fell asleep when I tried to watch it before. I like this Star Wars language. Everybody speaks English, but they have some crazy Star Wars language.
Yeah.
Whenever they say that. Oh wait, that just is now. No starship in area.
Because apparently Kashyyyk has no starships at all. That's kind of weird,
I guess
right?
not a lot of people like to go to Kashyyyk. Or Kashuk or Kasuk or whatever it is.
I always said Kashyyyk. I don't know if that's correct. Or actually, I used to say Kashyyyk. But
okay, I think they're calling Luke. There they go. Video phone, whoa! Oh, finally, a human talking. Mala. What's up with his eyeliner? He must have been filming another movie at the time, so he had different hair. God. I'm already tired. This is pretty boring.
Let's try to get through half an hour here. What was?
Is R2 on fire?
Yeah. I'm not sure why. A very obvious recreation of his suit from the movies. It's not a good one.
So, in the first movie, Luke could not talk to Chewbacca. But all of a sudden, he has learned the entire Wookiee language.
I think he can talk to him in episodes 5 and 6, but it doesn't come up much, come to think of it. But he at least gets the general gist.
At least we've got R2. He's always a delight.
Yeah. Sometimes a remote, sometimes a little person in a mechanical thing.
I wouldn't worry about Chewbacca. I know him and he hasn't missed a life day yet, right?
They were like, it has to be a holiday. Life day.
Renew. I don't know what that's about.
Come on, Paul, let's see a little smile.
They clearly just put Luke in a studio and just had him talk with no direction.
Her face didn't change. It can't emote. Note the X-wing painted onto the background.
They couldn't afford an X-wing.
In fairness, that's probably a pretty expensive prop.
Think of how much money they got from sponsors.
That's true.
Okay, now we're back to the Wookiee household.
I can't help but feel like this would be slightly better with subtitles.
I don't know why they made that choice, but they did. Now we're like watching him like boot up dial-up.
No, right? Oh, we get Darth Vader.
Is that Darth Vader?
No, that's a stormtrooper. But oh, that's who's this guy?
Oh yeah, that's that guy, that actor.
This mustachioed Death Star trooper. It looks like Darth Helmet more than anything else. I guess that wasn't out yet. Why are they calling this?
He owns a store or something?
Why is the other guy in Imperial Armor?
I think it's an inspection by the Empire. What is that?
It's an aquarium projected onto a small space, so it looks like it's like
Is
tiny
that supposed
fish.
to be cool?
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting camera technique, but they don't really make use of it.
I guess we take camera techniques for granted now that we have computer animation.
Well, if they'd done it correctly, they would have had it so you could actually see fish swimming around instead of just having them sitting there. But they did that sort of thing
It's
on
just like
Doctor
this
Who
guy
a lot.
going through his wares in a store.
Yeah.
Old woman.
He's speaking in code. Yeah, see.
And Solo.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
At least we got to like the plot part of it. Like something's happening.
I've never heard of this plot from it, which means it probably doesn't last.
Just a Groomba? What?
Rumor.
Oh.
Besides shaving and hair trimming, it's guaranteed to lift stains off clothing, faces, and hands. Clean his teeth, fingers, and toenails. Wash his eyes. Pierce his ears.
It's just like that era of let's take a lot of old vaudeville people and pretend they're really funny and just put them in stuff because they'll work.
That was mildly amusing. He's just holding like a paint scraper.
He's just like the guy from the beginning of Aladdin.
You can recharge
Yeah.
by simply plugging it into any ordinary laser outlet. I'll take it.
Laser
Good,
outlet.
I thought you would.
It's like a power outlet, but with lasers.
What? Lasers.
Give me something in trade.
I mean, you can transmit power that way.
That's a little off my mind.
Did that guy just get robbed by the Empire?
Basically.
I told you to accept it as a gift. You don't like embarrassing people. I don't like being embarrassed myself. That's why I like to embarrass people. Just said that.
So this was supposed to be a variety show, but we've only seen one segment.
Well, that was supposed to be a comedy segment, I think.
It wasn't very funny. This is footage from the movie. Like it's literally from the movie.
It's just dubbed over.
They just cut where he turns. I think he turns on
Right.
points. Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
Except it's not James Earl Jones. He just is the voice.
Right, I know.
Oh, good, a commercial.
Oh, yeah.
This is who we are and what we
There's no
Willie
eye patch.
Rawls.
replace our
There was no eye catch. It just jumps right to the commercial.
It's the 70s, man. Jump right in. This could have just been part of Star Wars.
Yeah, I couldn't tell for a second.
I've heard a lot of the commercials will be local commercials to wherever it was filmed.
Quite possibly.
So I'm assuming this is... I mean, it was General Motors, but I'm assuming this is like some repair dude.
Oh, this was the area where... This was the era where they advertised to African Americans using African Americans. And this commercial has only black people in the commercial.
Hey, they still do that.
It's not as prevalent.
Hey, but it was the first era where they were like, oh, wait a minute.
They have
People
money.
of other races can spend money too. That had never occurred to anybody.
Well, they
Oh, look,
had
here's
done
the
advertising this
toy
back
commercial.
Oh yeah, it's the one that goes along the line. In
How does
fairness,
that work? That's actually a pretty cool toy. That'd be a cool toy now.
you notice how it wobbles back and forth. It's got a thing that it only works on a white surface because it looks for the deviation from white.
Still, that'd still be pretty
Yeah.
cool today.
You can find those some places, things like that. But okay, now it's back
That
to
was-
that was only 2 commercials.
I feel like this could have been a lot shorter, and they could have just sold more ad time.
Yeah. It was like 15 minutes of ads, but still.
Out of 2 hours nowadays, that'd be there's like 7
like
minutes per half hour.
something like that. I think they're up to 7.5.
Yeah,
if I recall
7.5.
with Simpsons writers commentary.
So that'd be 15 minutes every half hour, so it'd be 30 minutes for an hour.
Yeah.
So it'd be an hour.
Yeah, this is an
Wait,
hour.
30 minutes for...
Well, this is an hour and like 35 minutes. So
15 minutes per hour, 30 minutes for 2 hours. Yeah. Oh, good! It's Harvey Corbin doing an entire cooking segment.
Whew.
Another comedian.
Today we are going to be preparing a very succulent dish called bantha surprise.
Wasn't a bantho this thing from Tatooine?
Yeah.
Why would...
Or no, wait a minute. Was it? Yeah, those were banthas. Which, why a desert dwelling creature has such thick hair, I don't know. But
Why would a desert... Why would they export... Why wouldn't they be rich if, like, freaking...
the banthas are farmed galaxy-wide, according to the lore.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Is Harvey Korman in blackface right now?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's just supposed to be like a
I
tan,
think he's supposed to be an alien.
who maybe
so-
has different color skin.
Yeah, I think maybe the skin is supposed to be like orange or
I'm
something.
just saying, he's a white man who seems to be dressed as a black woman right now.
Mm.
But only you know the size of the bite in your family.
It might have been better if they put a laugh track, so you know when it's supposed to be funny. This is just, he's just pretending.
Why
to
are we
cook.
watching them watching the cooking show? Why don't we just
We're
watch
just
the cooking
watching
show?
the Wookiees watch TV right now. It's like I could watch my mom watch Julia Child, and I'd get the same effect.
It's not even funny. It's just like a cooking show.
I think it's making fun of Julia Child, who's very like informal like that, but
A bit of the amaranthine root.
I mean, they're using made-up names. Decency.
Very nice. Now we've got enough liquid to cover.
I can see why parents turned this off. They were like, kids, I'm sorry, I can't take this.
Step one. Stir the mix.
This is the clip that you always see of like, what is this?
Now, step two. While we're stirring, we also whip. So it's
Whip, stir, whip, stir.
This is the clip you always see when it makes fun of it.
Whip, stir, whip.
Can you imagine being the actor who has to be one of the Wookiees? And they're like, guys, I'm not sure this is gonna work. Like, can you imagine being this actor?
Yeah. So, what is that? Chewbacca's wife or mother? This is
Wife.
wife. Yeah, right.
Which means, like, that's kind of dark, right? Because he, like, lives with Han and, like, runs around the galaxy. But he has this loving family
Remember
waiting
in
for him.
Solo, that they freed Chewbacca's family. In that one scene.
It was.
I think.
It was not explicitly stated that they were his family.
It was very strongly implied. Oh, now we get 3 arms. This is that Whose Line? Bit.
Oh yeah.
Who wrote this?
One of the writers was Bruce Valanche.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of. He's very famous, but he wrote a lot of awful things. He also was one of the writers on what's considered the worst opening to the Oscars ever, with people dressed as like tables and Rob Lowe is singing Proud Mary with an actress dressed as Snow White. But he's Bruce Valanche. I've seen interviews with him. He's very proud of the fact that they kind of duped Disney. They hired a lawyer to define how different the costume needed to be from Disney, but still be completely recognizable as Disney. And Disney tried to sue because they stole their character, and I mean, she even used the voice of Snow White. And he's very proud of the fact that Disney couldn't sue them. Like, you're proud of that you just stole a Disney character and got away with it?
I mean, Snow White predates Disney, but I haven't seen it.
Well, that's what they said, but she was dressed and spoke and did her hair exactly like Disney Snow White. Or just barely enough different.
This part is somewhat entertaining.
Oh, here we go. We're back to the starships. I'm starting to think that Han isn't a very good pilot. He's always like, whoa, came out, and now I'm getting chased. Also, the ship is broken.
He might not be a very good mechanic. That's the problem.
I mean, admittedly, he did just take somebody who had been sold into slavery and make him a mechanic, so...
Oh, I see. That's a picture of Chewbacca.
It's like a portrait.
Itchy. Itchy is frightening. No. He's apparently suffering from male pattern baldness. And he looks... What? Is this a mannequin? Looks like it. Kazook.
Oh no!
Why is his cane so small?
And crooked. I don't think it would support his weight very well.
Yeah, I know. That cane is clearly just for show. Or for hitting someone over the head, which I guess would make sense.
Look at their, 1970s door.
Yeah, it is very 70s.
Oh, I think that's the guy from earlier. The guy who owns a store.
What was the actor's name?
Art Carney?
Yeah, something like that. Mind evaporator? Why do they have a mind evaporator?
This acting is... this is rough acting.
Hamill was acting decently well. It's just he clearly was not given any direction.
He probably only got one take too.
Yeah.
What is that? I'm pretty sure Mala is getting sexually harassed by Art Carney right now.
Yeah.
If he did that in the workplace, he'd get fired.
No, they're not in the workplace.
That's true. He does seem to be a personal friend. He's still being hella creepy right now.
Yeah, a bit. Kashyyyk, was that what they were saying?
Kashyyyk?
I've never heard it pronounced that way.
I think the pronunciation did come from George Lucas. but I'm not positive.
I was like, I've heard about this next segment. It's like a computer. This is like those breadboard present electronics kits we got as kids.
Yeah, they still make those.
Yeah.
What did she get?
A TV.
Oh, this is where it's about to get really weird. Bruce Valanche also loves this. He didn't write it by himself, he's just one of the writers.
What?
Oh, this is his porn device.
Oh.
Which looks like a 1950s hairdryer.
Right.
This is when they were like, what segments should we do for
Let's just do an exotic dancer.
Something that's going to be marketed heavily to children. So, from what I understand, a lot of people tuned out after this because parents turned it off.
Yeah.
Parents like, where I'm going to watch this. Because it was marketed to children. Like, this special was for kids. And this is what they decided to go with, is like the psychedelic porn lady.
Appears to have been made on drugs or something.
I mean, I'm sure everybody, including Carrie Fisher, was doing a lot of drugs.
Oh, she's admitted she was high during the filming of this.
Oh, yeah, she admitted. It's just everybody else is lying. You gotta give it to her. At least she's honest, right?
I mean, she's dead now. Right?
Yeah, but she was. She was an honest person.
She done passed. Are they?
I think they're synchronized swimmers right now. Based on the way they're moving, I'm assuming they're swimmers.
I guess. I mean, they're in some kind of kaleidoscope.
I don't. Is this what LSD is like?
I've heard it compared to Speed Racer, the movie. The LSD, I mean.
Oh.
It was pretty psychedelic. What?
Yet again, this is a show for children. It aired in prime time in the 70s. The thing is, they probably thought they were being super woke. Like, they're like, but she's African American, so we're so woke right now.
The fact that it's softcore porn with an African American woman. And the Wookiee has white fur, you'll notice.
I know. That's probably some sort of implication. So, this is in the middle of the living room. This would be equivalent to your grandpa popping in a softcore porn tape in the living room of your family home. I mean, I know they can't see the image, but it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Yeah.
And, like, this was intentional. Like, they wanted it to be like this. This was an intentional choice. That they were like, what? Let's go as far as we can without the censors calling it. Which is, sometimes it's not about the censors, it's about your audience. Like, if this was for adults, yeah, it might have been, like, edgy and funny. But, like, this was not for adults. This was for kids.
I guess edgy, but it is not funny. Except maybe in the wrong, so bad it's funny. Kind of
why, in a children's show. Oh, she's singing now.
She's singing. She's superimposed over herself for some reason.
Have you seen Mom and Dad's wedding pictures? They did this in their wedding pictures.
Oh, they superimposed picture.
I'm not sure they bought that one, but they had the proof. That was very popular. They got married only a few years after this came out.
So popular. As Strong Bad says.
He was right about that lowercase I. It's really a thing. He didn't miss out on it like he missed out on the lowercase e.
That's true. Although the I is like trademarked by Apple. So
the I is trademarked by Apple.
You can't put I in.
Although, like Chinese companies do it.
They're not a signatory to international copyright accords. That's why there's Chinese bootlegs.
All the musical numbers are just too much.
Obvious mat line. Okay, now she's jerking.
Why did her
but the
frame
music,
rate drop?
Yeah, like the music is continuing normally, so it's not the stream. It's the video just does that.
God, can we fast forward through this part? This is so boring.
All right.
Check my scores. That's.
All right.
How long is this musical number?
Let's see. Yeah, because this goes on for well over a minute.
This is a full music number.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
There
Back
you go.
up.
Go back
There
to
it is.
this. We'll get back to the swimming ladies.
Okay, here it goes. That goes on for about 2 minutes.
We also need to skip most of the Jefferson Starship number.
Oh, now it's. Is that Carrie Fisher?
C-3PO and Carrie Fisher.
Hey, we got someone that we recognize.
Human.
I mean, that lady was human, and for some reason had a thing with the Wookiee. I don't. Why wouldn't a Wookiee see another Wookiee, right? You know?
I mean, Zan, I think you're being very close-minded.
Yeah.
Mama, it's so good to see you. Happy Life Day.
She says it may be a happy life day to you, but personally, she's seen happier ones.
I don't want to type the channels. So could you do me a favor and send either Chewbacca or Han Solo to the screen, please?
She says that she would like to grant your request, but is quite unable to do so.
You mean they haven't arrived yet?
She says there has been no contact.
She's honestly,
I think I understand her message.
she's doing okay, honestly, all things considered.
More trouble than we bargained
She
for.
looks like she went to the tanning bed and got those white circles around her eyes, but, you
Mama,
know.
are you alone?
You would only to me. No, she says she's not alone. She's with a friend.
Could he come to the screen, please?
So what? Can she understand Chewbacca? Why would he sending Chewbacca to the screen? It helps.
I'm not sure.
Hello, friend. Friend of the rebellion and a member of the Alliance.
Good. I know I can count on you to take care of my friends until the leader returns. You'll do that for me, won't you?
How can you trust him? You've never met him before.
She's expressing her warmth towards the table.
Look, I can see you're in good hands, Mama. I'll contact you again soon.
Leia, you old bitch. Mark Hamill learned Chewie's language.
Yeah.
I think as a princess, she'd be more worried about these.
Doesn't she have a musical number later?
She does later, but I think it's at the end.
Hmm.
Okay, here we're back. Chewbacca and Han. They're here. We still have a long ways to go.
They're only at the planet. They have to get through the Imperial Cordon.
Never see so much Imperial traffic in the system. We're laying on the north side will be safer. So it's a long walk. We'll exercise every
A long walk, as in
Across
halfway
an
around the
entire
planet. Yeah. I mean, even in the best case scenario, it's like an eighth of the way around the planet, right? You couldn't walk that. I don't remember where I
That
got
was
Kashyyyk.
expensive.
That was the pronunciation in Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was Lumpy. Lumpy. It's a great name.
Is it, though?
Mm.
Oh, no! Stormtroopers.
And commercial.
Oh, yeah. There haven't been many commercial breaks.
Yeah, there haven't. 60
This
minutes.
is an advertisement for 60 minutes. All in the
Oh,
family.
All in the family. Alice.
Alice. I've never seen.
Lucy comes to Nashville.
Oh. This makes me
No.
wish, like, you think, like, oh, she was just touring. You could just go see Lucille Ball.
Yeah. Dallas. I wonder if that was a season that was all a dream.
Was that in Dallas that they did that?
But the spin-off did not do that.
Was it something to do with the actress?
Yeah, like a character was killed off because the actress actress left.
It has a lot of things for a cold if you need nasally
Okay.
sinus congestion.
But then they came back, so they had the whole season be a dream. But then the spinoff had the person stay dead because they'd already like made another season on that.
Palm tricks. It's like old medicines.
Oh, hey, Bear. Just a reminder that we are not sponsored by Audible. Audible, not just for blind people. It wouldn't be for deaf people.
It would not be for deaf people. International Ladies Garment Workers.
That is both very broad and very specific.
When the work's done here, we can support our family and pay our taxes.
This didn't work. All our clothes are made overseas. I wonder how the union's going because all ladies' clothes almost are made overseas.
Yeah, the ones made in the U.S. are made by machine.
I mean, there are clothes made by hand, but they're high end.
Well, yeah. Because for rough stitching, the machine can do it just as well as you.
It was probably done by machine then. It just was more.
It's mostly women. There's like 2 men in the group for some reason.
Probably a lot of seamstresses were women. That's kind of a sad commercial.
Well, it's like international when it's. What is that? Oh, I like that.
It's for phones.
Oh, they're phones. Oh, we have a phone like that.
We never had one with we had a rotary dial.
No, there was.
We might have had one in the 80s.
Maybe Grandma has one, so maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I don't think she, but I think she had one.
It's not one that's connected. There's one like that that's sitting around somewhere.
I think she had it for us to play with or something.
See, this is the long commercial break.
Yeah. I think this is when people really checked out.
Story of Adam and Eve.
The story of Abraham.
Abraham, here we go. This is some Old Testament.
Kind of Saturday night movies.
Okay.
Kind of going out of order.
Baseball.
I remember when that was a thing.
I've heard of these.
They still make them?
I don't think so.
They actually look pretty good. I don't know who that guy is, but
Baseball player, I guess.
I mean, obviously.
Reggie, the candy hit. I wonder if they still make Reggie. Dolly, is that a Dolly Parton show?
I don't know. Here's that guy that looks like Darth Helmet again. I wonder if that's where they got the Darth Helmet look from.
Maybe. He does look like look how big that helmet is.
It's Darth Helmet, like I said.
That's one thing. That's one of those movies you can't watch because people know all the lines.
Spaceballs.
Can't watch it with other people.
I'm still waiting for Spaceballs 2: The Quest for More Money. There was talk of it a couple years back, and
what's his face that made that movie doing these days?
I don't know. Big movie, I think.
I thought maybe he was retired.
Mel Brooks, right?
Mel Brooks, yeah. I thought maybe he was
semi-retired. He still does stuff special.
2 adult males, 1 adult female, and 1 male child.
And also just this random traitor who's here.
Officer, maybe I can be of some help there, sir. What are you doing just looking at house? I'm straight with this. The truth of the matter is, he had a terrible fight for us, and he just stormed right out. Your identification? I said. Your identification? Oh, identification, yes. It's a very important thing, identification. I never leave the shop without my identification. It's very important. Isn't that my business? I just found my identification things in my pocket.
That's kind of funny.
It's supposed to be like a vaudeville bit again.
I put that up myself. That's pretty fast. So I know some people like to keep things neat and clean, and that's why I had the
How far into this? How much is left of this?
Let's see. Well, we skipped a couple minutes, so we're nearly halfway through. I think probably go to the next commercial break and stop there today. And we'll get in part 2 tomorrow.
Oh, also, that picture you're looking at right now was taken quite a few years ago. That's the one of me. I've gained quite a bit of weight since then.
Could he be acting more guilty? Like, what is going on?
Where's your daddy? These things have no respect for authority. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. You know my brother's boy.
Thinly veiled racial allegory.
Your identification is in order. You can go now. Thank you very much. I just have a little more work to finish up here. And oh, by the way, while I'm finishing up here, why don't you boys take it easy, relax, put your feet up, and make yourself at home. Now, Wookie food isn't the greatest, but I'm sure that I can whip something up in the kitchen there that we can all eat. You don't mind, do you, Mala? Mala, come on, you're catching that home.
This is unintelligible. Even the human speak is unintelligible.
That thing is a very delicate piece of work. Why is Joe? I can mess up the whole work. Well, play around, then let me show you how.
I bet this is going to lead to some other musical number, probably.
Just sit down and enjoy it. Okay, here we go.
Oh, this might actually be the cartoon segment.
Oh, okay. Their houses, why do they need so many devices to watch videos on?
Who knows? And also, why does that device require so much setup? I don't think even TVs at the time required that much setup. What is he doing? Get on with it.
The Imperial Guard are as bored as we are right now.
It's either the cartoon or a musical number.
I think this is Jefferson Starship.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a full number, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, fast forward through
Yeah.
it. Nice. Okay.
I told you it's a full musical number.
Yeah. So that goes on for about 3 minutes. Oh. Wait. I don't know that they're actually done on that.
It might just be cutting away from them for a minute.
See, they're wrapping up the number or just doing pointless stuff. Okay, it's pointless stuff. Okay.
We still have an hour left. An hour and 56 minutes.
That's why I said we'll do the rest tomorrow. Okay, I think this is the end of the number. I mean, I like Jefferson Starship, all right.
Yeah, but it's just watching like them standing there singing.
I know you like it.
I don't know what else to do with Star Wars. Starship, I guess.
I think it's just the vague connection of Starship.
Right. That's all I can do for now. I hope you guys find what you're looking for. Keep up the good work.
What could be left to do at this point? We have an hour left of this.
Well, we got the cartoon and Carrie Fisher's musical number. We know there's those two
true. We know
segments.
there's at least that.
Oh, I almost forgot. I want to leave you my card.
We haven't had B. Arthur yet.
We haven't had B. Arthur closing the cantina.
No.
Investigate the upper area. Check for any rebel material. Anything to connect this household with the Alliance. Oh, don't forget about these protective cases for your identification, Don. I got a good eye. That's it. That's all.
He is easily persuaded by a gun in his face.
You take the upper area.
What was the point of that? How was this one stormtrooper strong enough to throw Wookiees aside?
We don't want to have to hurt anyone. That's not what we're here for.
They're acting so suspicious.
My men get angry. I can't always control them. We are going to continue our search.
Creepy human eyes.
Now keep him quiet. Don't forget this ever happened.
I feel like this is, if they subtitled it and cut out all of the segments that have no point, this would be like a watchable-ish 45-minute thing.
Yeah.
Here's Simon for some reason.
Playing Simon Says?
No, like that's Simon. Where you go, boop, 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 boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop. Did that exist at this point in time? Oh, here's a cartoon.
There's a cartoon.
Cruiser RS advanced Captain Pizza and reporting. We are waiting to return Captain Han Solo as first mate Chewbacca.
Like, how famous are they that they're making cartoons about them?
Which has been sought by our forces and by the Empire. The talisman. It makes
This is animation. Why is he moving so much? What? Ah! Look at Mark Hamill's face.
Is this like rotoscope or something?
What does that mean?
As a technique of capturing, of motion capture,
Ah!
results in very uncanny movement.
This is often touted as being the best part of this, which maybe that's true, but the animation is so bad. I feel like Speed Racer was better than this.
Speed Racer was fairly well drawn. It just was animated about 5 frames a second or something.
This might be less.
No, the frame rate's actually reasonably high on this. It's just that it's drawn very poorly.
That looks nothing like Mark Hamill.
Why are his eyes so big?
He has no pupils.
Yeah, there's no pupils, and he either doesn't blink at all or is blinking constantly. There's no in between.
Oh look, red dirt. Psst. Salt.
Oh yes, the not hot system.
It was salt, Brian. They told us. He tasted the dirt. Because you know what you do when you go to a planet and you don't know what the soil is made out of?
You taste the
you
dirt.
Stick your fingers in it and stick your fingers in your mouth and prove to yourself that it is an edible material.
Don't use any of the analyzers you have, you know.
Or just, don't lick the dirt. You don't need to know what it's made out of. You're in an emergency situation right now.
What the?
What's wrong with C-3PO?
He's bundled up.
Oh, the comlinks.
R2 suddenly has flexible joints in this. Oh look, it's a not dinosaur.
Totally not a dinosaur. It's an alien, not a dinosaur. Totally not a dinosaur. Why would you bring C-3PO into battle?
So the ejection pod is just like the front part of the ship, apparently. Hey, it's Boba Fett.
Hey.
Boba Fett, where?
He got eaten by the Sarlacc.
You know, apparently Lucas thought about adding a scene in the special edition.
Where he comes out.
You're right, but everyone already assumed he escaped, so they didn't see the end. So the story goes.
I am Boba Fett.
I wonder if they'd already decided to include Fett.
Is he riding a Brontosaurus, which is, where they accidentally put a bunch of bones together that weren't the same dinosaur?
This is all we have, but he's welcome to go.
This was apparently filmed in Baltimore.
Oh, hey.
I mean,
WMAR-TV Baltimore.
Channel 2.
Channel 2.
I take it you have no love of the Empire. I don't. Well, neither do I. It will be easy to find the ship you
I mean, I know he's like a free agent, but, you clearly don't have too much of a problem with him, Boba Fett.
He's our only chance.
Wait, did C-3PO just blink sideways?
C-3PO also
Does he do that?
has, like, a stick for a neck.
Did R2 say that?
Oh, those are crash inflating things.
airbags.
Yeah, for ships.
Yeah. What's Chewbacca looks like a toe. Did they just kill Luke?
Why did Luke?
R2D2 has detected contamination. It must have come from the talisman. R2 says it's some kind of sleeping virus that only affects humans.
Sleeping virus. He just got encephalitis lethargica.
What is that?
Sleeping sickness from that movie Awakenings. People fell asleep and like for years.
Oh, is that what they got on Arnold's Jungle movie?
Maybe. No,
They're
no.
not
There's
explicit
the
about it.
African sleeping sickness that has.
No, they're in
is
South
different.
America in the Hey Arnold movie.
Then I don't know. It
Though
might
I
be.
was like,
It might be in South America.
though I was like, they're not going to survive without a drip feed, and they just had kids tending them.
Well, it's Hey Arnold.
I know.
They
I did like
They
that in
go
the
by
Jungle
science.
movie, Big Bob's Beeper Emporium was going out of business because no one uses beepers.
but the Patakis?
Yeah.
Even this cartoon's not that interesting.
I said stay, friend.
They're working with Boba Fett, but they act like they don't know him later.
Do you understand?
Well, Han recognized him in the Return of the Jedi.
That's right, because he knew all the bad guys. Yeah.
Starlog update. All Boba Fett crew relocated the serum to the
Is he turning to drugs?
No, that's the
Syringes?
serum for the sleeping virus.
If only just all random diseases could. Did he just pay with a credit card? What?
What?
Darth Vader.
Now they just interrupted.
It's a child watching TV. Okay. Well, do you want to watch the commercials and then just pause?
All right, sure. Let's see what we got. That's no jive, man. Stop trying to be street.
I don't think that's what he said.
He did. He said, "That's no jive, man."
Pretty sure he said something else. Excuse me, sir. I speak jive. Have you seen Airplane?
Jennifer has the 1 and 2 on DVD. We watched it.
I've never seen the second one. I've only seen the first one.
It has Captain Kirk. What's the actor's
William
name?
Shatner?
William Shatner in it.
Clearly, the advertising at the time was look at these workers. Here's the faces of the workers, because every commercial is that way. It's here's some dude that builds Pontiac engines. Here's some dude that fixes bodies of cars. Here's some ladies that make ladies' garments in the U.S.
Although they're called the International Garment Workers Union for some reason.
Didn't work out for him. I wonder if they still exist.
Huh.
Honestly, they're really similar.
There's pudding in the mix.
They're really similar, those mixes. Oh, no.
It's still capturing.
It's still capturing? Okay.
It may have had a slight hiccup.
Hungry Jack, want some biscuits before you go camping?
Yeah.
Hungry Jack.
Hey, turn around and back. These are Hungry Jack biscuits.
Hungry Jack biscuits.
They do make some good biscuits, Pillsbury.
That's true.
I'll still go for some Pillsbury biscuits.
More, Mom.
Hungry Jack. Did you go into
Is Hungry Jack Pillsbury?
I didn't know they were, but I guess they are. In the refrigerated dough section. No kidding.
The Star Wars Holiday Special will continue in a moment.
Okay, so still got commercials.
Commercial.
Good evening.
CBS
From
News.
CBS News, this is News Break.
That's probably going to be a commercial.
Told 12 U.S. senators that the Soviet Union had once tested a neutron bomb, but never put it into production. That's the bomb that
Remember
kills
back
people but leaves
when we were
no
enemies with
experiment.
Russia? But kind of not, but mostly.
You mean now?
We're bros with Russia now, man.
Not really.
I mean, sort of.
I mean,
Oh no! Oh, there it is.
Oh.
11 inches of snow in Minnesota. Also hard hit parts of Michigan.
Apparently, this was local news, just like 5 minutes in the middle of the show. Great snow, 78.
Busy time for maternity wards, but it hasn't happened. One nurse said most of the men must have been out shoveling snow.
That was news? They're
Yep.
like, we thought there was going to be a baby boom, but there wasn't.
Yep.
Every known virus. Every known virus. It's contact.
I'm Wally Sanders.
I guess it's an antiviral medication.
What?
Contact?
I don't.
Hey, CBS, what's coming on?
Who is that?
She looks familiar.
Yeah, I know.
Get ready for a hot around the clock with Bobby Dickens Rock and Rollers. Starring Kenny Martin, Striker Channing, Eve Arden, Gail Gordon, and Fabian. All Monday at 8, 7 Central Mountain.
I didn't say who it was. The actress looked familiar, though.
You're bound to prove gentlemen. To the next 10 weeks. The Wild Geese. Our mission is to save the life of Julius Lee Bobby. Don't worry. We'll make it.
I've never heard of a lot of these shows and stuff they're advertising.
I think this is a movie.
Must be. I mean, it looks pretty theatrical.
The
The
Wild
Wild
Geese,
Geese. Have you
yeah.
ever heard of that? It's
No.
rated R.
Now playing at these select theaters.
I like that there's 3 theaters on the screen.
In
I mean, I guess
Baltimore,
it's in Baltimore. More car commercials.
This is a local one.
This is, yeah, local.
$9 down, $99 a month.
This isn't as cringy as local as usual commercials.
Well, those are local commercials. I don't think that guy's gonna make his weight control.
81009.